All right, ladies and gentlemen, I was just having a conversation with my wife about something that's been bothering me about guitars and everybody's favorite guitars. Okay? I have a few of them. Okay? All right. Now, to each his own, everybody's got their favorite. One of the best answers that I've ever gotten to the question that I have is that you have to feel it to know if it's your favorite. You have to feel the comfortability of the guitar to know if it suits you the best. And if it does, that's the best guitar pertaining to you based on playing it, right? Well, why is it that everybody always wants to say, well, like with Gibson, for example, okay? This is always just based on the playability of it, the meaty heaviness of the velvet bricks that come in it. This is a Gibson 1980 Sonics during the Norlin era. You know, the gentleman from Moog, right? This is the Deluxe 180. I just think it's the coolest, right? It's my favorite simply because it's just personally my favorite. I like the way it plays. I like the way it feels. And I'm an 80s kid born in 1981. This guitar was born in 1980. Has that Knight Rider feel. I just simply like the look of it. That's it. For me, I just like the look of it. I like the feel of it. I like the way it sounds, the muddy rock heaviness of it, you know. But everybody says, well, it's the cheap one Gibson makes. Well, yeah, but, you know, playability, comfort-wise, it's the best for me. And that's what people always say is, well, however it feels, right? So this guitar carries a price tag roughly about $600. That's vintage to maybe $1,000, right? So I think that's reasonable, right? And that's a vintage Gibson, right? But then people will look at you and say, well, that's cheap because they carry a bolt-on neck, right? And Gibson's Les Pauls, like the standards and the customs, you know, they've got a set neck, right? So these are quality, right? Well, if you look at everybody always promoting what they consider a great guitar on all YouTube videos, all TikToks, whatever, even in music stores, they always give you the same rigmarole, right? They look at you and they say, well, this one's got 22 jumbo frets. Well, almost, not all, but almost every electric rock guitar, basically, blues guitar, jazz guitar, has got 22 frets. Congratulations. I guess that's your benefit, right? Or, well, this one has a rosewood fretboard. Well, almost every single guitar has a quality wood fretboard. Most, including most Epiphones, have a rosewood fretboard. Or Stratocaster. Or a standard Gibson or a custom. Some have ebony. I get that. I get that the ebony is a little bit nicer, but still, they're all quality fretboards, whether it's ebony, whether it's maple, or whether it's rosewood. They pretty much all have those fretboards. Those three right there. They're all quality woods. They're all good. But these are the excuses they always use. Oh, rosewood fretboard, 22 frets, a 3-way toggle switch. Well, congratulations. They all pretty much have a 3-way toggle switch. I'm just saying for the most part. I know there are some here and there, okay? I get that. But for thousands of dollars in difference in price, it's absurd. You know, when you think about what they tell you are the benefits, it's ridiculous. Well, Aaron, that's me. You know, this one's got a bolt-on neck, though. And, you know, when you get into the Gibsons that have the set necks or whatever, you get into more quality. Then explain Fender. Almost every Fender Stratocaster, Mustang, Telecaster, whatever you want to say, Jazzmaster, they're all bolt-on necks, right? They all have bolt-on necks. And I can tell you and show you, and you all know out there are Stratocasters and Telecasters that are vintage guitars or whatever. They have $6,000, $8,000, $12,000 price tags, bolt-on neck. But that's always the excuse with the Gibson. Well, this one's got a bolt-on neck. And Keith Richards played a bolt-on neck. Eric Clapton played a bolt-on neck. Jimi Hendrix played a bolt-on neck. You can't... Look, let's just be honest. You know, it'd be great if you commented and told me something that gave me a really good answer. You know, this here. This is a 1979 Hondo 2. Custom to me. Les Paul with my JB humbucker in it, right? The body is plywood layers. This is a what did I say, 72? It's 79 Korean made though, right? So this is the lawsuit era when they were getting sued for, you know, the Gibson headstock and whatever, right? This guitar right here, it's got the pearl inlay, okay? It's got the rosewood fretboard. It's got 22 frets. But see the catch? It's a bolt-on. It's a bolt-on, right? But guess what? It's one of my absolute best playing guitars. It feels the best. When it got it set up with the low action, and I did tone and volume pots that are custom Les Paul in it, at the JB humbucker from Seymour Duncan in it or whatever. I put on Grover tuners. Granted, I did all these little accessories, but it's now the best playing guitar I have. And it sounds absolutely phenomenal. But it's still a Hondo 2 plywood body with a bolt-on neck. And you can't convince me, and if someone can, that'd be great, that, you know, well, set necks are better, man. Set necks are better. They're more quality. Explain that with Fender. Explain that. You know, tell me why people that I had named, like Clapton and Hendrix and all, or even Kurt Cobain, for example, you know, loved his Jag Stangs and his Mustangs and all that. Was he the greatest guitarist in the world? Absolutely not. But he's one of the hierarchies or elites in the music industry who used a bolt-on, right? And he would look at you and just be like, well, mine's a bolt-on, and I have a rosewood fretboard, and I have a 22 frets and three-way toggle switch or whatever. That ain't no different than a Hondo 2. Do you get what I'm getting at? I guess I'm looking for someone to please explain to me truly, except for you just being biased because you've been brainwashed by company names, you know, the real truth. I feel the real truth is you just simply like it because you were basically taught and brainwashed your whole life into Jimmy Page plays, you know, standard, whatever, Gibson Les Paul, set neck, da-da-da, so it's the greatest. But bolt-on's no good. But then you have other people that are like, except for like Jimi Hendrix, da-da-da, well, they got bolt-on. You get my drift, what I'm getting at? I think it's more of a brainwashing. I really do. I mean, you know, CC DeVille plays a Charvel or a BC Rich, and it's bolt-on, right? And you can find one of those that are going to be like $6,000 to $8,000 bolt-on, rosewood fretboard, 22 frets, blah, 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 blah. Do you get what I'm saying? So if anybody can explain to me really why you would go spend $12,000 on something that they tell you is quality versus, you know, you just really liking the comfort and the playability of something. I don't know. Are you getting my drift? Leave comments. Let me know. Maybe you can enlighten me on something I'm missing. All right, guys. Thanks for listening to my long-windedness, my droniness. But hey, it's a legit question. I've asked several people at the guitar centers on Reverb. I've asked friends. I've asked family members. And I can never get a real true answer. Tell me what you think. All right, guys. Take it easy.